Hello and welcome to this week's Devil in the Detail podcast. I'm Rob Parkinson. We're here talking all things Salford Red Devils. It's our festive special. I'm joined by Paul Parky. It's Christmas week. Are you looking forward to Christmas, Parky? What fun things have you got planned?
Yeah, I am. I always do. I don't know what I turn into a kid. I mean, I'm never not one, but I do. I love Christmas. You know what? It's years ago when you were a kid or whatever, even through teenage years and then into my 20s and everything. People, oh, it's for families, I used to think, what a load of nonsense. It's about going out and getting blitzed and and times have changed, obviously, but it is the one thing I really love about this time of year is seeing friends and family more. I don't know why we do it this time of year, why we don't get together more. I don't get it. But so this week, Christmas Eve, I'm at the in-laws. Christmas Day, I'm at the in-laws. Hopefully Christmas Day night, I'll be at my brother's for the rest of the family. Boxing Day, I think we're having a party here. And then in between, I've got just before New Year as well. I've got a birthday, and then it's New Year. It's a nice little busy time. Plus, it's my niece's birthday this week as well. So a bit crazy, but I love it. I just love it, And the vibe, everybody seems to be. I know you get stressed out, and it's difficult as well. But I think everybody tends to just sort of smile a bit more. Not everybody's a Christian or religious in any way, but it just feels better. And I'm one of them weird people that actually like Christmas music.
Yeah.
A lot of people get annoyed of it, but I do tend to avoid it until about the second week of December, so I'm all right. Some people are listening to it in August, so but no, really looking forward to it. And yeah, just like I say, just spending time with people and going out and meeting all your friends, that sort of thing. It's great. It's a great time of year.
Favourite Christmas song, Parker?
It's got to be Fairy Tale in New York.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It just makes me a bit melancholy, I think. Makes me think. I don't know why. I'm not Irish. I've got no real direct links to it. There are a few, though. They just sort of, I don't know, they put a smiling face for different reasons. Some are comedy, some are serious, some are, but it's different, isn't it? You listen to music all year, and I'll be honest, very little stands out to me these days. But Christmas, I tend to listen to music more. I don't know, I like Christmas music. Sado.
My favourite Christmas song is Spaceman Came Travelling, Christy Burr.
Yeah, very good.
Absolute banger for me.
Yeah.
Underrated, really, when it comes to the Christmas song. People talk about Noddy Older, don't they? Talk about Wizard, talk about Paul McCartney, John Lennon. I think didn't Freddie Mercury do a Christmas one? Thank God it's Christmas. I think there's some bangers out there, but I think that's very underrated for me.
And of course, the serial Christmas songwriter in Sir Cliff.
Sir Cliff, yeah.
He brings one out every year, I think. I don't know, but it is a good time of year, isn't it? We all, we can kind of enjoy it. Not for everybody, I understand that. And if it isn't, please, speak to somebody, just talk to anyone. But I hope everyone's enjoying themselves, and and hopefully everyone can enjoy this podcast.
Yeah, as that's what it's all about. Like you say, with friends and family, enjoying all the festivities, and like you said, it's a great time if you are sort of feeling the burn to speak to friends and family and be around loved ones and share that sort of stresses, and it's really an important time to get together and if you are feeling the burn to tell someone.
Absolutely. I've had an up and down year, I'll be honest, and there's been times where I've probably not felt great, but I'm lucky that I've got people around me, people I can talk to. Even coming on the podcast, midweek at some point changes what you do and your mood and everything else. And every now and then you get a bit of bad news. I've had a bit of it this year, and it knocks you. And if you haven't got anybody around you, I can imagine how tough it is. I've been low at periods in the past, but having people around, people to talk to, makes a massive difference. And like I say, just even you two guys, when we're on here, you know, it can lift you. It makes you feel a bit happy. It changes what you're thinking about, and yeah. So just, you know, obviously it's easy for us at the moment to say that, but anybody who's listening who feels a bit down, please go and talk to somebody about anything, about the weather, about whatever. Just get out and have a chat.
Going to try and make your mood better now, Parky, with top 5 Christmas cracker jokes. How are you with Christmas crackers jokes?
Yeah, they're not exactly jokes, are they? Yeah, no, yeah, okay. So, if I remember any.
Okay, so we'll start. First one, Parky. Why does Santa have 3 gardens?
I don't know. Why does he? I don't know.
Because he can ho ho ho. It gets worse, Parky. Trust me.
Yeah. Okay.
What happened to the man who stole an advent calendar?
It's got to be something to do with 24 days. I don't know. Go on.
He got 25 days. How did Scrooge win the football match?
How did Scrooge win a football match?
Yep.
Go on. Don't know.
The ghost of Christmas past.
Oh, I like that one.
Give it a one.
That's a good one. I like that one. That's a good one.
What do Santa's little helpers learn at school?
I should know this one, shouldn't I? I don't know. Go on.
The alphabet.
I'm glad I don't know that one.
Okay, and final one is, what do you call an old snowman?
Whatever you like. He's not going to be there.
Water.
Okay. Yeah.
There we go. So we'll start with a bit of a festive cheer for our listeners. Parker's in a good mood now, so I'm sure he's going to be fantastic at name the bench after last week's score of, I think it was 1, Parker. Hopefully this week's score better.
Yeah. Was it? No, was it? Yeah. No, yeah. The squad numbers. I can't. Yeah, go on. Yeah, I'll yeah. Come on. We can do this.
So play your squad right. Ready?
Yeah, that's the one.
So we'll start with Danny Addy, 2022, number 14. Appearances 14, no tries. The next one I've got is Oliver Gildart, 2015, 3 appearances, 1 try. Was his squad number higher or lower than 14? Don't forget you can play along at home if you're around the Christmas tree and you're bored of Christmas songs. You can put us on the MP, put us on the radio, maybe put us on the Bluetooth speaker you got, and everyone can listen and everyone can subscribe and listen to me, Parky and Paul, talk all things Salford Devils for the next year.
Okay, I'll say it's higher.
Higher.
Yeah.
Oliver Gildart's number was 35. So you were correct.
Much higher.
Parkers, that's 1 from 1 for Paul Parkin. Next person on my list is Phil Cousins, 1997, 9 appearances, 3 tries. Was his number higher or lower than 35?
Lower.
He's lower. Correct, Parker. 2 from 2 for Paul Parkin. It's a Christmas miracle. That's all I can say.
Flying.
Last week's.
Yeah.
So
was he number 2 or number 5?
1997, 21. Next person on my list is Gaz O'Brien. 2017, 26 appearances, 8 tries. Was he higher than lower than 21?
Oh my God. I'm going to say.
Don't forget, you got to switch through as well.
But he wasn't.
Got a switcheroo.
Did he play? He didn't play. He didn't play number one, did he? Or did he? Who played number one? If he didn't. I think he was higher.
Higher than 21. Is that your final?
Oh,
Do we have a switcheroo?
Oh, no, hang on. Oh, was he 21? Who was 21?
Phil Cousins was 21. So is it higher, lower?
Oh, right. No, in that case. No. Oh, right, yeah, no, I'm thinking because he was, right. I'm going to say he was lower.
He was lower. Number one, Parky.
He was number one, was he?
He was. 2017, according to Rugby League Project. Next one. 2020. Elliot Kay. 10 appearances, 1 try. Was he higher or lower than 1?
Higher.
So that's 4 on a spin, Parky. It's unbelievable.
Best ever.
Unbelievable. Next one. 9 levels. 2014. 13 appearances, 6 tries. Was his squad number higher or lower than 24?
I think it was in the 20s. Is this his breakthrough year? Is this when he scored at Edinburgh, that absolute blinder of a try? His breakthrough. What year did we say? 2014. So, yeah, probably would have been around then, I'll say...
Don't forget to do a switcheroo.
No, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to say higher.
Higher than 24?
I'm going to say higher than 24.
You'd be correct, Parky.
Yes.
26.
I was going to say 26. How amazing is that?
Unbelievable.
This is unbelievable.
We'll move on now to Dan Sargison. 2022. 5 appearances, 1 try.
2022? That's this year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. What number did he play? Did he have a... Oh, hang on a minute. Is this out of left field, this one? Because I've got a sneaky suspicion that it's higher. I think he's got a really weird number. I don't know why I think that, because I hardly saw him this year. So I'm pretty much guessing. But I'm gonna say it's higher.
So higher than 26. You have a switcheroo if you want to.
No, I'm going to go with it and stick with my convictions.
Okay. Yeah. So the answer is Dan Sanchez' number was 23. Lower. But tremendous score. 5, Parker.
I thought, for some bizarre reason, he had a 30s.
Yeah.
Don't know why I thought that. Thought he just had a random number this year, like 34 or something strange.
But fantastic. Did well there, Parker. Proud of you there, mate. Did very well. And you're on the leaderboard at 5. Paul Whiteside will need to be working hard to get near that.
Oh, I'm sure he will. Hey, he's got a bonus anyway. He's a bit younger than me, and he's got eyes that can see. He's not partially sighted, so he'll be able to see the numbers. Bit unfair, isn't it? Anyway, I'm not playing disability card. Let's go with it.
Only when you've won 5. If you don't want it, mate.
Yeah.
So that's all. What we'll do now. We'll do news.
Yeah.
So Parky, we'll start with Hull, KR, and Salford at the AJ Bell. The club have put on an engagement opportunity for the local youngsters to get involved. Very excited about this? Obviously, we talked about the club being a community hub with all the clubs and things like this only makes it better.
Yeah, very much so. The match day experience last year, a few times we had school kids down and that kind of thing, and it does add to the atmosphere. It really does. It's great to see, plenty of numbers there, but it's also that chance for people. A lot of kids who wouldn't get the chance to come and watch rugby, wouldn't get to see it, wouldn't even know what it was about, to come down and see. And I'll tell you what, the one thing last year that really impressed me was, I can't remember which game it was. It might have been a couple of games, but where the players stayed behind that long that virtually everyone was leaving the stadium, and the players were still out there signing autographs for the kids, and they were loving it. They absolutely loved it. And the feedback was tremendous. I know people who went to that game with their kids who don't go, and just said what a great night it was, what a great afternoon, or whatever. I can't remember what the time of day it was, but they were telling me that, what a great club and how much the kids enjoyed it, and they'll definitely be back and all that. Whether they do, you can never tell, but, it's great, and that's what we need. You can't fault the club for what they do. You really can't. They can't do more than this, and we just need a few more to get hooked. That's all. But yeah, that first home game, isn't it? The old KR game is it a Thursday night or something?
Mm-hmm.
Be nice to get a decent crowd in there. So we need to get off to a good start at League. But once again, the club are just doing what they can to get everybody involved.
Yeah, £10 for adults, £5 for kids, and a complimentary ticket if your kid plays in the competition. It's run from 6 p.m. till 7:30 at the AGA Bell. If you're interested, contact james.molyneux at salfordcc.ac.uk. Hopefully there'll be a good turnout there, and it'll be a good kickstart for our season community-wise. Talking about kickstarting, there is a new sponsor on the shirt, Muse Developments. Parky, our latest kit sponsor. We talked about the kit last week. Very impressive. I'm sure there'll be a lot of kits under the tree delivered by Santa. But yeah, Muse is a very good company. Redevelopment around Salford, and great to have them on board.
Yeah, I came across Muse for several years back in a different guise, I suppose, in my life. In the job I had at the time, I sort of came across them, and they were not a developing company at that time. They've been around a little bit, but not as mature as they are now. But they've made massive strides. They're a big player in this, certainly in this area, at sort of redevelopment and that kind of thing. Listening to what Paul King had to say about them, and it looks like a great opportunity for both to expand, our name with them and them with us, and they're going to be. It looks like they're probably going to be involved in the community with the club, at all levels, and that's brilliant. It's another great bit of work by the club, bringing in these people. The more the merrier. And like we said, I think a couple of podcasts ago, when the club had the business meeting, Club 13 or whatever it is, and we were saying then about companies talking to each other, spreading advice and that kind of thing, but also it gets them involved in rugby league in Salford or whatever, and they might see an opportunity for sponsorship there. And I know on the last podcast we mentioned about the need for a couple of our teams needing sponsors. It's great that we're there and we're getting into people's faces, and companies like this are jumping on board.
Yeah, obviously big companies. Is it Mawson involved?
Yeah.
And it's team. It's companies that are noticing us now, Parky, and obviously we have local businesses involved as well, which is so important. Obviously, with the community thing, and we are a club going the right direction, and being able to being approached by these companies to sponsor our club is great, and it's fabulous. I think obviously them involved, fantastic stuff.
Yeah, people want to be associated with success. Mm-hmm. Simple as that, and the more success we get on the pitch, it obviously helps. But I think the success we're having, again, as I said, I think on the last podcast about the ladies team and the learning disability and everybody else. This expansion of not just a team, it is a club, it's a whole thing, and I think that helps, and people want to be involved in that as well. To get drawn to that, it's a great thing, and it's a great opportunity for them to expand their community side of things as sponsors. They have a responsibility, certainly with Muse being a development company and redevelopment. They have to engage with the community a lot anyway. It's another way of them sort of branching out and making themselves people aware of who they are. It's brilliant. It's just more good work from the club.
Yeah, talking about engagement with the club, NFTs and fan tokens are now available. I spoke to Nenad about this on a previous podcast from the Red Star Belgrade. It's a bit 21st century, 30th century. It's all the future, Parky. Obviously, the club will put out a kind of a video, I think produced by Block Sport, telling you what it's all about. Obviously, if that kind of thing interests you, have a look at that and see what you invest. Obviously, they're talking about giving you opportunities through it. So if that floats your boat, have a look at it.
Yeah, it's a bit above my pay grade, I'll be honest. I'm not. I've tried to follow it. I don't get these cryptocurrencies and all. I'm probably just getting old. I don't know. I like to have £20 note in my pocket, and that'll do. But yeah, it's another thing that we're at the forefront of. We're doing something that other clubs aren't doing. And with it being alongside Red Star as well. As we've mentioned previous about the size of that as an organisation, not just as a football club. It's good that we're on the front foot with it, and people who understand it will explain to me how it works one day, I'm sure, and hopefully it's beneficial for us.
It's, like I say, exciting. Obviously, if you want to get involved, contact the club and they'll point in the right direction what you need to do. Talking about getting involved, touch rugby is now an option at Salford with the Salford Red Devils Foundation and the NQ Rebels with a link up, Parky. They're going to play on a Tuesday night, 7 p.m. at Eccles College from the 10th of January. So that's another opportunity to get involved and keep fit playing touch rugby.
You will keep fit playing touch rugby. It doesn't stop. No, that's good. I wasn't aware of that. That sounds like something for people who are fit anyway. Maybe not me, but another good thing. The exercise itself, but then again, as we said at the start of this podcast, by the way, about getting out and meeting people and talking, it's another great sort of community thing, isn't it? Getting to mix with people. I'm interested in that. I like the sound of that. That'd be good to see and see what the uptake is.
Yeah. Great things that the club are doing, walking rugby, touch rugby. Like you say, you got to be fit. I used to always find myself at touch rugby, but it was one of them where you'd see a gap, you'd think I'll go through that gap, and it just shuts like nightmare. Boom, the gate's shut, and you think, oh no. And I think 20 years on, the gate will open and shut again before I get there. So yeah, so if you feel like you're fit enough, and obviously you want to, like you say, like Parky said, opportunity to meet new people and enjoy yourself, get down there and enjoy yourself. Other news, Paul, Brogan Evans, one of our ladies, were selected to play for the England Community Lions. They were due to play England DISE, but it was called off due to a frozen pitch. Disappointing, but she's had a great season. And we're hoping that it gets replayed at a different day.
Yeah, it's always good to be called up to represent, isn't it? She has had a great season. I know she's very popular within the team, isn't she? She's one of these key, cogs, if you like. No, fantastic. I hope it gets rearranged, because these chances don't always come around that often to be, to represent your country or whatever. And it's a good way for to sort of, a good thing for our ladies team to have these players in there to attract other players, to show that you come to Salford, you've got a chance. Because this year, obviously, going to be a big year for the girls. I'm really looking forward to it, actually. But yeah, no, well done to her. I hope it does get replayed and she can actually get out and get her boots on.
Yeah. Other news: 11 years the AJ Bell this year, Parker. A couple of weeks ago was the anniversary. There's talk about our future, whether it still lies at the AJ Bell or whether it's at Moor Lane or elsewhere. We've come a long way in 11 years. What's your thoughts?
It's a good question, that, Rob. I think that's a whole podcast on its own. Look, it hasn't been smooth. We know that. I think it was badly managed from the start. I think it was overestimated. I don't think things were put in place in time. I think it was a very much a rushed project to start with. I think we've started to make it our own. I think it started to become a bit more. It was always going to take time. Change isn't easy when we all grew up at the Willows. It was like that comfy pair of slippers, wasn't it? Just love it. I mean, I still watch videos now and I look back and just can't believe it's not there. You know what I mean? It's gone. We moved. We were excited. We thought this is the new start. This is where the money's going to come from. We were probably sold down the river a little bit with that side of things. There was no money in it for us. On a match day, we had a club shop that had to go. We're down to a couple of offices there or whatever. That's always been an issue. For me, the one thing that never happened, that should have happened and should have been done first, was the transport put in place to get people to and from that stadium. I know people say, "Oh, it's not like it was, the car park, this and that." I don't drive. I rely on public, transport to get to the game, and many of the time I have to get a taxi these days because you can't rely on one bus in and one bus out. It just doesn't happen. You could miss kickoff, so it's going to cost me 15, 20 quid to get there, and then I've got to get home as well on top of everything. That was the one thing that really let the place down for me. Just getting there, it's difficult, and then I'm not sure facilities for the fans are the best in terms of you got the bar is a marquee outside. Well, it's great in the summer, but we don't always get summer weather, even though we play summer rugby. It's cold and windy. That place isn't the best place to be. So I don't know. It's got its problems, but it is better. It is better now than it's been. And all we can hope for now is some good news this year that maybe we finally get a stake in the place. We stay there. We make it our home. I know we've discussed it previously through the year about Moor Lane, and that'll have a lot of challenges anyway. But I'm not sure moving again is going to be great. I think we need to be stable. I think we need a base to stick to. And the AJ Bell, whether we like it or not, it was initially built for us. It was planned for us. So maybe if we can get the right investors involved and make a bit of money out of it, we need to stay there and make it work. And once that happens, then we can start looking at ways of making it easier and more fun and more fan friendly and whatever. But 11 years has been a long time. It doesn't feel that long, strangely enough, but we've struggled through, and now you can see how the club's run. We could just get a bit of investment off the stadium or a bit of money from the stadium. It could be a massive boost to the club, which we wouldn't get, I don't think, anywhere else.
It's the big thing really, because I think really it's the best it's been. I think the club have managed to kind of work it to their advantage now, and actually the events they're putting on recently, sort of using it the way it should be used. The big thing is whether Seb Gerrard comes in and is able to sort of fund the club and we can have a stake in the stadium. There is no news as we record this. about his plans or how far down the line that the offer is, or whatever. Whether they're still in discussion with the club, we don't know. But we'll have to wait and see. Park. It's. I remember going to the AJ Bell and Paul King talking about the different options that we had, and the momentum was for Moor Lane until Seb turned up. So the question is because obviously Paul King was like, well, we go to the AJ Bell and we do it for 2 years and then we're dead in the water. But with Seb, if Seb gets involved, how long is his commitment going to be? And we don't know that until he comes out and says that, do we? So is the risk enough to say, right, we'll just kibosh Moor Lane and go all in on the AJ Bell with Seb if Seb turns in, or are we kind of like on a gondola now where we've got a foot on each boat and they're just drifting out to sea, and we'll have to jump at one point either way?
It's a tough one. I think the key is no matter what happens, if Seb Gerrard or any other investor comes in and buys the stadium or half the stadium or whatever it is to make sure that we're secure with a rent that we can afford.
Yeah.
No matter how it works, you've got to pay rent. I don't care who you are, you pay rent. Never going to be that peppercorn that we wanted 11 years ago, but to keep the rent at a reasonable level, but also to give us the chance to get some money out of the stadium, to make money, because at the moment we don't. And if we can actually, offset some of our rent by, what we take in the bars on a match day and in the restaurant and whatever else, that's a massive boost to the club. If we can get a foothold, if like I mentioned before, if we can get, if Seb Gerrard comes in and says, look, I want Salford Rugby League to stay here, this is your home, and we can have a club shop, a focal point for us, so something else to help us grow, where we can go and you can go and buy, like Christmas is here, you just nip in, buy what you need, and that money's there. It's in the club. It's there's no sort of waiting about or anything. I think there's so many advantages to somebody coming in, privately owning it, and having an eye for Salford. Whether Seb Gerrard wants anything to do with Salford Rugby League investment wise, he's a little bit irrelevant in that way to me. We survive without him now, but if we can make money from that stadium and keep our rent at a good level, then it'll work.
Because that's the important thing, innit? It's about sort of levels in it of investment for him and the amount he's willing to lose to get the growth we need to be. Because obviously you say, yeah, we could buy get a club shop, but that's an expense we don't have now. So is he willing to shoulder that for us for the next 3 to 5 years until we're generating enough money through the shop to run itself? Really, that's what I think. It's a situation where, like I say, any investors coming in, they've got to weigh up, what it costs to run the club now and what they have to put into it for it to go to that next level. Really.
Yeah, it is a tough one. I mean, the thing with the club shop for me that I don't understand at the moment is that I know it's privately owned, Salford Council and Peel Holdings, but that shop is empty. That is a retail space doing nothing at the moment. But what's anybody gaining from it being empty? When somebody could benefit, whether it's us, whether it's Sale, whoever it is, it's obviously something to do with the charging of that space that makes it unappealing. Well, nobody else is going to move in.
No.
You know what I mean? You're not going to get some high street. I mean, high streets don't really exist, but some high street retailer going, I'll have that. It's made for retail in that environment, i.e., a rugby league club shop or a rugby union club shop or a shared shop, whatever it is. But it's literally a waste of space. Nobody benefits from it. And I don't understand what they get. Now, surely any private owner will come in and go, what I need is this place, boom, I want everything open. So if we've got a gym there, that's the gym. If we have a shop here, we have an office here. Let's make use of the place. And at the moment, I don't think that happens. So we need somebody to come in with their own money, and once you're using your own money, you will make things happen. I think at the moment it's a bit of to Peel Holdings a bit of a nuisance. To Salford Council, it's something I think they had to get involved in. They had to do 11 years ago. They'd probably rather wish they hadn't done, but we don't know where we're at. We don't know where we might be in a month's time. We might be celebrating, but just give us that chance to make a bit of money. And if we can make money, I know we mentioned on last week's podcast the 300 grand we lost between 20 and 21. That could have been wiped out. That could have gone. We could have made money off the stadium, off selling pies and pints and some merchandise. That could have been wiped out. We could have made a profit. Who knows? And what a difference that makes. That then gives you that chance to go and buy a marquee player. Not that we need one, but or at least go and get another squad player or whatever. The opportunities are endless if somebody uses that vision and just comes in with a bit of money and says, right, this is what we're going to do. Because at the moment, I think the two parties who own the stadium generally have no interest in who goes in it and who plays there.
Yeah, just opportunity. And I think it's just, like you say, figuring out how much you've got to put in to take us to that next level. Because we're at a level now, and we're doing it the community way. So it's how much he has to put in to take us to that next level, and is he willing to lose to make us successful? That's the question for me. But we'll have to wait and see, Park. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, like you said, in the next couple of years. And we'll be talking about on this podcast, whatever the decision is made, talking about the club and all the great things that they do. The club are asking us, the fans, to send them a WhatsApp video and tell them the reason you support Salford and what it means to be a Salford fan. Great initiative. I think it's great. Obviously, lots of passionate Salford fans out there, Parky, ready to spill their hearts out to the club. I'm sure you and your AI camera will be ready and willing to give the club the reason why you love it.
There'll be some interesting stories. Mine's, I don't know. Mine's kind of didn't have a chance. But a lot of people, I do find it fascinating from people who are from outside the area. Really do, as to what attracted them to the club, because we're not a trendy club. We never have been in many. You know what I mean? In terms of you go and support Wigan or Saints or Warrington or whatever. What drew you to Salford? If you're not from Salford, why would you support Salford Rugby League Club? Now there might be a family connection down the line. Great granddad may have come from Salford. It's just, for me, but it was just me. I had no choice. That was it. I was lucky in many ways, but people have had to sort of grow to love it, if you like. I was born to love it. It's different, but people from outside the area or people who had no interest, who may have just stumbled across it in the teens or something like that, just turned up one day for a game, and now they go home and away every week, buy every bit of merchandise they can get. How did they get into it? They're the stories that I think will be fascinating.
I think it's an exciting thing for me, Parker. I went with my dad. My dad went, so I obviously followed his footpath to watch Salford. But for now, the reason I watch Salford now is it's the people now. For me, it's they feel like family, really. I mean, I look back at sort of the early sort of 2000s on the trains and the fun we had, and and how we've all kind of like gone along this life journey, and we're here now with kids and families who are now involved in watching the club, and obviously me doing this podcast and Salford City Radio and having access behind the scenes as well at the people who work in the club and how hard they work, and that's a thing as well that I feel like I sort of enjoy sort of talking to them and seeing how much they enjoy sort of how what they what they do for the club. And yeah, it's more about the people than the actual sort of the game for me. I enjoy that part of it. We've had some glorious moments on the field, we've had some really dark moments on the field, but it's always been about fun and family for me.
Yeah, very. He certainly grew to that. Probably, I'd say in sort of mid late 90s, right through into the 2000s. It became a bit because we became a bit as a club a bit of a farce at times when you think back. You know what I mean? The reason we went wasn't really for the rugby a lot of the time. That 80 minutes kind of got in the way of fun, if you know what I mean. We had great days out, and it was about friendship. And I've seen a quote somewhere, and it's true. I'd say that 90% of the people I now class as my friends, I only know through rugby. I got to know through rugby. These aren't people I went to school with or people that I worked with or anything like that. They're through watching Salford. And some people not even Salford fans, but people in a wider rugby league context. And it is strange, isn't it, when you think about it? I mean, I was obviously I was 2 months old. My dad, all my uncles going way back, all watched Salford. They're all Salford fans. And then when I was 2 months old, my mum got the job of the kit lady, the laundry lady at the Willows back in 1977. She was already working in the Willows at the time in the actual club, but she got the job doing that. So from me being 2 months old, that was I went there every day. I was in them changing rooms every day. I literally grew up there. Every holiday, after school, I'd go and meet my mum. That I'd be, I learned to kick a ball on the pitch. I mean, it doesn't get you don't get a better playground. But because of my family being involved in the club, that's how I got into it. And then it developed from being a family thing to then making me way from being a ball boy to going onto the terrace to this meeting these amazing people that I've met, and I've kind of modelled my life in many ways with a lot of them. We've all grown a lot older together. I know that. But it is exactly that, what you've said. It is the reason I love Salford Rugby League Club is the people. That's the truth. I can take winning and losing. We're used to it. It's not like I've ever seen us be successful. It's not a sudden crisis when we're getting relegated, because that's who we are. And we tend to lurch from disappointment to crisis, don't we? But it's the people, and the humour has always been there. There's always been this great sense of humour. I mean, from going to games to the Scarlet Turkey, the fanzine. I mean, brilliant. Probably one of the best fanzines I ever read. Them lads who came up with that to where we are now. It's just great. I mean, you'll remember after the 2003 grand final. Yeah. We had our own Mad Monday. We had to celebrate together to get over celebrating the day before. I don't know how we managed it. That's probably why I'm in the condition I am now. But it was great, and that's what Salford Rugby League Club is to me, and it is a friendship. And like you say, I mean, you can look down my Facebook friends as they are, and I'd probably say 90% of them are connected to Salford Rugby League Club in some way. So, but like I say, I'd like to hear other people's stories and find out how they got involved. And like I say, people from outside the area, how do you stumble into this? I like I say, you just said there, it was just there for me, laid on a plate for me. But some people have to get into it. How did that happen? And I think that's brilliant, and I respect them people so much.
Good crew gets you through.
That's a good saying.
So obviously, if your heartstrings are being pulled and your tears in your eyes listening to me and Parky talk about what the club means to you, I advise you to contact the club via the WhatsApp number, which I don't have on me right now, but I will find it. And give them a message and tell them, why and how you got into the club and why you love following it. And it's going to be, hopefully, a nice little thing the club can put together, which will have us all in tears at the end of it, Parky.
Yeah, I can imagine me getting a bit emotional, actually. You mentioned, I think it might have been on the last podcast about the shirts and the video they put together about it. And he starts off at the Willows as it was. And, and you got Paul Fletcher and Alan Grice and Andy Burgess there and people like the video. And then the one that they did back in 2019, was it before Old Trafford?
Yeah.
I mean, things like that, they get that gets me. That really gets me. Just watching it, I could watch it every time and it will get me because what the words are so not just powerful, but they actually mean something to me about. And he says what I think of that club. He's basically put into context what I would love to say. So watching what fans say and why they love it, I mean, that's going to be, I don't know. Yeah, it might be a bit difficult to watch actually, but yeah, that's something that I'll say. I know about Salford fans. There's never been many of us, but very passionate and definitely very loyal.
Yeah. If you want to send the club a video on WhatsApp, send it to 07493 874 954. Send your video to the club, and you could even win a prize if it's a really, really good one. Come to Twitter.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Well, do it for the love.
Do it for the love. Indeed. So that's all the news, Parker. We've got a bonus game here, Parker. Bonus.
Oh, here we go.
Bonus game because it's Christmas, and we thought I'd have an extra game, and on this game because we used to play in the winter, didn't we? Back in the glory days, and Salford had a period of time when they used to play Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and Boxing Day. So we've played on Christmas Eve 11 times, Parker. Can you tell me how many times we've won on Christmas Eve? Is it A, 6, B, 5, C, 3, or D, 7?
Tell you we won on Christmas Eve. Now, I'm thinking that we mainly that would have stopped probably, I'd say no later than the 70s. I don't even know if it was then. I don't know if they did play on Christmas Eve in the 70s. I don't remember us doing it in the 80s. So what I'm thinking is there's a chance. Might have been all right. I'll say we won 11. I'll say we won. No, I'm going to say we won 5. I'm going to
5.
I'm going to go down. Yeah.
The correct answer, Parky, was 5. B.
Was it?
Yeah. Correct answer. Won 5, lost 6.
Yeah. We got any dates?
No. To be fair, I was a bit rushed. I've got the Bible.
Yeah.
But I've not had a chance to do the stats. I will do the stats maybe for next week. Something to look forward to.
Yeah. Okay.
So, moving on to Christmas Day, Parker. We played on Christmas Day 40 times in our career.
Wow.
How many games did we win on Christmas Day?
I would say.
Which is mad, really. You think about it, playing Christmas Day.
Absolutely bonkers.
We were playing. To be fair, I remember looking at the fixture list, and they played like Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and Boxing Day. A bit mad, really, back in the glory days of black and white TV.
I suppose Yeah, I suppose a bit of extra money as well for him because
So
it would
I'll
have
give you a
worked.
clue, Parker. So A, 10,
No.
B, 20, C, 25, and D, 30. Do you have any thought process behind that?
No, again, I think that kind of thing would have gone on a lot in the 30s and probably before.
Yep.
Now we were good in the 30s, so we probably won quite a few. But I've got a feeling that one of them was Leeds away, and they couldn't play it at Headingley Rugby League, so he played it on the cricket pitch. Something tells me that's the story. Now, whether that was Christmas Day, I don't know. But we got beat, obviously, because it was Leeds away, and it doesn't make a difference where we play them. I'm going to say, I'm going to right down the middle. I'm going to say 20.
The answer we have is 10. A.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
And to be fair,
Too much
sniffer
turf.
there, Paul Hume has come up with results as well for us. Christmas Eve, we beat St Helens 13-2 in 1898. We lost to Lee in 1904, 11-6. We beat Broughton Rangers 3-2 in 2010.
Classic.
1910. 1921, we lost 5-4 to Broughton Rangers. Warrington in 1927, we won 3-0. Featherstone in 1932, we won 24-3. Leeds away in 1938, we lost 5-0. In 1949, we lost 22-7 in 1949 away at Wigan. 1955, we lost at home to Warrington 24-0. 1960, we lost 17-5 to Saints, and in 1972, we lost to Bradford. We beat Bradford 11-19 in 1972 on Christmas Eve.
Wow. Well, that Leeds game might be the one I was thinking of. It might have been Christmas Eve then. Lost away at Leeds.
Christmas Day, we had first time we played on Christmas Day was 1899, and we lost at home 5-3 to Wigan. It took us a bit to actually win one at home. We had to wait to 1906. Do you want to guess on who we played in 1906 at home?
Well,
7-5 against?
I think it's a local team, just because it's Christmas and you would. I'll say Lee.
Broughton Rangers.
Oh, was it?
We won 7-5, and we had a few goals before. I think it was 7 years till we won an home game on Christmas Day. But we played Broughton Rangers every year for about 30 years on Boxing Day, or 25 years. Yeah. From 1905 to 1930.
Good game, good clashes.
And we played Wigan for a bit, and then we played Wigan and up until 1958. And we won a few, we lost a few, lost most of them to be fair. But super stats there for you, Parky.
Yeah, I like that. It's a strange one now, isn't it? You think back to playing on Christmas Day. I mean, it just wouldn't happen, would it now? It wouldn't anyway, because we obviously were in summer rugby. But Christmas Day, imagine that, saying to all the family, they're all around waiting for dinner, and go, you have to wait and go to the match. That'd go down well.
So that's our little Christmas quiz, and now we're going to look back at the 2022 season, Parky, and what a great season it was.
Yes, much better than anticipated from myself, I'll be honest, which is great. But there was some really good memories. When you mentioned it earlier, I started thinking, trying to get a few in my head, and it was a sort of mid-season slump, which was obviously we were decimated by injuries. We had no chance really in a lot of it, but what an ending to the season. Yeah, there was some real highlights, some really good matches this year, and it was far more enjoyable than I expected.
Highlights of 2022, Parky. I'll start with beating Castaway, first game of the season.
Yeah.
Complete performance, that one. Fantastic performance from 1 to 17. Completely took Castleford apart. And I think the week after we beat Toulouse, first home game, back-to-back wins there, showed what the club was about and the direction we're going in.
Yeah, that Cast game's on my list. Mainly because going there, I know it was freezing, wasn't it? A horrible February night. You're going to Weldon Road, where the welcome's never too warm anyway. And it was certainly cold that night. It was a big crowd, and they expected a sellout, didn't they? I think 10,000. And it was a bit, you thought it was just going to be a bear pit. And our record at Cass is pretty woeful. And like you said, it was a brilliant performance. I never felt any fear in the game at all. I thought we were in control all the way through. A great start. I know Mark Sneed had an absolute blinder that night. We took a lot of fans as well. That was a good thing for the opening game. But yeah, no, that was a great way to start the season. We were magnificent that night, and I think it was more of the surprise that I expected to go there and get beat. We turned them over comfortably, and you're like, not many people go to Cass and do that. I mean, you look at their record this year; they didn't have the best season, but they didn't lose many at home. So that was a definite highlight.
Yeah, another one for me, Parkett. July and August, 7 wins in that run. We beat Catalan twice, we beat Huddersfield, we beat Hull, we beat Castleford, we beat St Helens. All playoff teams for me, and us beating them shows what we are becoming.
Well, I mean, during that period, the big one for me was the Saints game at home, where we absolutely battered them. I don't think, and I said it at the time on the podcast, I don't think I've seen a more complete performance from a Salford team in my life. That was a good Saints team, and we still had 7 or 8 players missing that day. And people said, "Oh, Saints had a couple missing." I mean, literally a couple. Well, in a squad like that, you're not going to feel it. And we went out, and we were unbelievable. And that try that Brodie Croft scored, where we've gone from one end to the other. I mean, he just had everything, and it was a nice day as well. The sun was shining, the AJ Bell. But brilliant. No, that was probably possibly my number one highlight of the year, because that's a champion team that we didn't just beat, we absolutely battered. It just doesn't get any better than that.
And to top it off for me, Huddersfield playoff game away. The whole club, the fans, the players, all at a level which we hope we can live from now on.
Yeah, I've got a couple more.
Go on.
I've got the Wakey game where we scored 70 odd.
Yep.
Not because it was Wakey. It was just amazing to watch that performance. Once we got on a roll, we were unstoppable. I felt for Wakey. They had a few players. I mean, they weren't, anywhere near the level they should have been. And if we'd have done that to Wigan, Saints, or Leeds, or Warrington, I'd have been as happy as anything. Feel a bit more for Wakey because we've been there. We've been down, and we've had a pasting or two like that. So, but that was a great day because everything seemed to come off. Everything we tried was brilliant. The other one was I think our second visit to Warrington last year, when we were out of the game. The Warrington fans were letting us know we were out of the game and weren't very good. And little did they know they were giving birth to a terrace chant that has stuck with us since. Brilliant to come back at Warrington that day when they thought they had us. It's shown what a team this is. Not about individuals. It was a team effort. I remember Jack Ormonroyd having a stormer in the second half. He came on. but back off the bench, he was brilliant. A tackle by Akuala, who's obviously left us now, but a try saver from nowhere. That whole ethos of we will win this game today. That was a real highlight for me that I had to mention, because you just don't. When Warrington got a lead like that and their fans start trying to take the mick, and you turn the game around, I mean, it just feels so good. But that was that period where I thought, we're a good team. We're actually a good team. This isn't luck. This is a good team. And that was a great afternoon out. So, yeah, I had to give that a mention.
What about games that got away, Parker? Do you have any regrets, or any games where you think, what could have, should have been?
Not so much could have, should have. I mean, the semi-final against Saints is one of them, I suppose, that with a bit of luck, you don't lose Andy Ackers in the first tackle. You don't have Brodie Croft injured from the game before. From the Huddersfield game. You've got everything to go for, and you get the rub of the green off the man in the middle. Things like that. But there's a couple of games that stand out for me last year where disappointment was on the cards. The two Hull KR games, home and away. The first half performance in both of them was way off the mark. And they were, the second one at Hull KR away really hurt, because we just did not perform. I don't remember the stats, that only, I think the forward that made the most meters for us only made 30 odd meters.
Wow.
In 80 minutes. I mean, that's embarrassing. We were so poor that day against Hull KR, who I think at that point had lost something like 9 games on the bounce or something stupid. And we went there and just collapsed. And then the first half at our place against them, I think we went 18-0 down. You don't win games going 18-0 down.
No.
It's not good enough. So for Hull KR to do a double over us when we made the semi-final, can you imagine how good we could have been last year? The only other one was the Huddersfield away game in the league.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the Hull away was bad, but Jake Connor tore us apart that day. But the Huddersfield away game, we might as well not even got off the coach. I don't think we did. I don't remember us getting out of our half for 80 minutes.
Games that got away for me, Saints away. Should have won that. Chris Atkin interception, getting hauled down, and then can only be described as a brain fart in the final 10 seconds, and we threw that away. Wakefield away, let them score too many tries early, ran out of time basically. Another 10 minutes would have won that game as well. But
the other,
can't dwell on defeat, can't dwell on sort of what could have, should have. It was a tremendous season. We had some great, like I say, we've gone through some of the highlights there, Parky, and we're moving forward. We'll gain from that sort of experience of the low ones, and hopefully use it to reach even higher levels.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, the Saints game, I didn't put in there because what an amazing effort with the team we had out that day. I think didn't one of the academy or one of the development lads or whatever get on the bench?
Yeah,
we didn't even get to use him. We had no players, and we went there and could have turned him over. The other one is the Wigan game away, where Morgan goes for a drop goal, which just lands in the wrong man's hands. I mean, don't give it field. And he scores in the last minute. It was on Channel 4, and it was probably their best game of the season that they had on the telly. It was a brilliant performance, and I wouldn't put it down as a game that gets away in the way that I didn't expect us to win. I know that's bad on my part, and that's the expectation that Paul Rowley wants to change. In my mind, never mind everybody else's, that we can go to Wigan and Saints and Leeds and win. Why not? But for me, going there, you're going, probably not going to happen. And we got close, and then you're walking away feeling proud. You're thinking that's a moral victory for us. It isn't. It's no good to anyone. You don't get any points for it. But we came away from that, them games, and so I won't class them as that. I remember the Wakey game. We gave Johnson the freedom of the pitch, I think, in the first half. let him do what he wanted. I mean, the most dangerous man on the pitch. But we weren't great that day. But I think we were just getting into our stride at that point of the season. I don't think we were quite there. It was kind of off the back of the Cats and Toulouse game, but before the injury crisis. But just, I don't know, it didn't work. The only other game I'll mention this year, the other sorry, well, not in the game, but the other down of the season, not highlight, was the opposite. What am I thinking of? Anyway,
opposite of what?
Was of a highlight is
Low light.
Yeah, I suppose was the torrential downpour before the Toulouse game.
Yeah.
I think a decent crowd was turning up, and I remember people turning away. And I remember getting absolutely drenched. We'd only walked from Eccles Rugby League to the ground, and I felt like going home. I was that wet. It was horrible. And I think that kind of spoiled it a bit, and we started well that day, and then I think the conditions changed the game, didn't they, a bit? I know we scored 40 points or whatever, but we could have got, I think on a dry track, we scored 60 or 70 that day. But, that you can't control the weather. That's one thing we definitely can't control.
No.
So, but yeah, not overall. I mean, what a magnificent season. The Cats game away in the playoffs as well was really good. But I think between the Saints demolition at home and the Huddersfield playoff game, it doesn't get better. Just doesn't.
No. It's been an amazing season. I want to thank all our listeners for tuning in. Allowing us to talk sort of Salford Red Devils and sort of listening to us in investing in the coffee, buying us coffees and allowing us to buy different programs and equipment to make this podcast the best it can be. I want to thank you, Parky. I want to thank Paul as well for taking time and time out of your lives to talk to me about Salford Red Devils and enjoying it. And it's been an amazing 12 months. We've covered so much, with the club, the ladies' side, the learning disabilities, physical disabilities. It's grown. The club has grown beyond my wildest dreams 7 years ago when this podcast started. And it's been amazing. I'm looking forward to the next 7 and see what comes up.
Yeah, it's been it's been emotional. And I know I like to go on a rant, and I like to air my views a little bit, maybe too much at times, but it's just, it brings it out of me. It really does. And having this opportunity to talk to you and everyone who listens is just brilliant for me. I mean, I don't go to the pub very much anymore, and this is my sort of pub chat, if you like. This is what I do. And I love talking Salford Rugby League and rugby league in general. And I like I love the fact that you guys and everyone else is willing to listen to me every now and then. Whether it make any sense is a different matter, but got to try. But no, it's an absolute pleasure. Another year over, and we're all looking forward now, aren't we? More optimistic, I think, after 2021 with Richard Marshall and everything that went on that year. I started last year on a downer, or this year, sorry. I didn't expect an awful lot, and they over-delivered for me. They gave me more than I could have ever wanted. And let's just hope this year is a year of good news. Give us a bit of luck, give us a chance, and I think this club is going to go a long way. Yeah,
I'll say we thank the club, we thank the players that we interview, we thank the foundation lads, and everyone who tunes in. Like I said, thanks for all the Kofi sort of donation. You want to buy me, Parky, and Paul a coffee to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, then that it would be much appreciated. But it's been amazing. Big thanks for everyone for tuning in. And here's the 2024 and more Salford Red Devils fun, Parker.
Yeah, and 2023 as well.
Yeah.
No, it's going to be another roller coaster, isn't it? And that's the way we love it. And I just I wish everyone all the best for the the festive period. Enjoy yourselves, and I can't wait to see you all again when the friendlies kick off.
Yeah. So big thanks for tuning this podcast from the Devil in the Detail. I'm Rob Parkinson. You can find us on Facebook, Devil in the Detail SRD. You can find us on Twitter at DITDSRD. And you can find us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Radio Contact, Spotify, and YouTube. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And we'll see you in 2023 for more Salford Red Devils chat.